Hello, this is Barry Malone, and I'm giving an overview of my American History course. When students enter my course, the first thing they will encounter is this welcome message. And the welcome message includes my name, so it's the first introduction they have for me, as well as it gives a little bit of information about the course itself. It reflects on the attendance policy. It talks about who do you contact if you have technical difficulties. Um, it talks about going to getting started so they know where to start the course, and also to the lessons page so that they'll know where to go to find the lessons for the course, the actual learning material. Also, in here, I try to invite them to contact me so that from the very beginning they know that I am in the course and I'm happy for them to reach out. And that will be, of course, reiterated in other places, but I also want to make sure it's included here. If they go into the getting started where they're first directed, one of the first things they encounter, of course, will be this list at the top that kind of tells them what to look for on the getting started page. And that includes the syllabus for the course. It includes directions for Flipgrid because Flipgrid will be used throughout for at least 2 assignments in the course. It includes the attendance guidelines so that they're clearly stated as far as what's expected from the attendance perspective and how it's recorded. It talks about weekly assignments so they can get a feel for what they'll submit and what will be the guidelines for submitting those assignments. Communication tools so they know how I'm going to communicate with them through the course, and this touches on everything from the announcements to sending and receiving emails and discussion boards so that they know how we'll be able to communicate with each other. Then also discussion board posting rules for uh, for for people or students who want to be able to always go back and see, how do we go about posting on discussion boards? What are his expectations? And then also the online course or the online test taking for this course. So how do you take tests in an online course? These documents are also posted and available under course resources. So as the semester goes on, if I close the Getting Started folder, they'll be able to find those resources also in another place. Also, I do have of course, the faculty information where I post my name, my phone number, so students know how to reach me via phone and via email. And I also give a brief introduction of myself. I talk about my background a little, my education, what my interests are as far as it relates to history itself, and then I talk about what I enjoy doing in my free time as a way of letting them know, some of my interests outside of the classroom. And I hope that they will find this somewhat humorous. My avatar is a dog, my actual dog, that I post, and I comment that that my pet is he's busy helping me grade discussion boards. So hoping they'll see that as somewhat humorous and bring a sense of that while I want them to take the course seriously, also want them to enjoy the course and hopefully make me seem a little more accessible. The next folder down, or the next page down, is the lessons page. And here, when they um, click here and enter this page, they will see the module schedule at the very top. And that will let them know how long we'll be in each module. So the course is actually divided into 8 modules, and then it has 2 tests. And within each module, it depends on the material that's been covered as to how long the module will stay open. So some modules may only be open for a week, or you may find that some of the modules are open actually for 2 or 3 weeks. So as they move through, they can see here that we use a free textbook. We use a open resource textbook. So I provide the link here so that it's always readily accessible whenever they enter the lessons folder, as well as you have access to Teams here so that when they are required or they want to speak with me on Teams or they want to come in for office hours, or if for some reason I'm holding a review session, they know they can always readily access it through Blackboard if they want to. So Again, the course is divided into 8 learning modules, and then there are 2 additional modules which each hold a different test for a total of 10. If we go into the first module, it'll give you an example of how the course is kind of laid out. So I added these instructional kind of videos at the very beginning. I guess they're introductory videos, really. And in the videos, I kind of go over the learning objectives for this module. I talk about some of the major questions that they kind of want to ask and answer, hopefully, as they work through the material. I think hopefully this will kind of give them a sense of who I am in the course, guide them a little bit toward some of the bigger questions that they should try to answer as they move along, and just give a nice brief overview of what to expect from a content perspective in the module. Moving down, um, here you will find the learning objectives for each module, as well as the task list for each module. So if this was a live course, you'd have due dates here for when each of the assignments is due, and then you have over here you have the weighted points, so the students know exactly how much each assignment is worth as they move through the module. Moving down, you have the reading assignments, so that is clear in the module that this is, your reading assignment. And then you also have the key terms from the readings and videos, so that as they're going through this module and they're going through the assigned chapter, they know exactly kind of, here are some of the major ideas that as you're working through the material, you should be able to pull out of the module. Now here is a primary source folder that I created to make sure the students have the tools they need to analyze primary sources. Throughout the course, students are asked to read and analyze different types of primary source materials, from photos to letters to posters to cartoons. And so this folder actually contains documents that will walk the student through how do I actually analyze a primary source. And here I give the definition for it. And this actually appears in each module, because when I use the term primary source, whether it's in the first module or the 5th module, I want to make sure they always have the definition front and center, so that we're always operating from kind of the same analytical space, and that the tools they need to complete assignments or to look at sources are always readily available and easily accessible to them. Now, one of the things that I added to the course, I used to include videos, but now what I've done is I've created a video collection using one of the learning modules, so that when a student actually enters a module and then they enter a video collection, now there are videos posted of varying lengths. Sometimes it may only be 3 or 4 minutes. Sometimes it may be a full-length video that could run 30 to 40 minutes. But normally they're short videos that students can readily, access, because they aren't too long to lose their interest. And they can scroll through the learning module, and all the videos are related to topics or learning objectives that I want to cover in the module. And I hope that it enhances the reading and provides some supplemental materials. Each of the videos are captioned, and I provided a transcript for each of them. And so this is something they will have in each module now. Additionally, in the module with the video collection, there's also now an image library. Students are able to now go in and view different historical images. And as you can see here, I've posted certain things I want them to consider while viewing the images. And this one I even include a food for thought. What do the images reveal about the visions of freedom? And then here I give these standard questions. And in each module, they will have these standard questions, because these are kind of the guiding questions for looking at a visual image from an historical perspective. And if they enter, they will normally find 4 to 5 to 6 or 7 visual images that are primary sources that they can then review. They normally have captions at the bottom to kind of give some brief details about what they're viewing, as well as alt text, so that that's there also, so that it's clear as to what the image is if they are um, trying to view it, and they can scroll through. They can tab through and see the different images in the module. The last thing I want to point to in this module that we added, or I added, if I come back up, it's called American Voices. And what this is a place where I've collected articles or links to websites um, that provide additional material about the topics that are covered in the textbook and the videos. Normally, I'm trying to capture here voices of people or um, articles about events that the textbook may not cover as in depth, but that also brings some of the other voices from American history in that the textbook may not cover as well or as in depth as I'd like. So if students come in here, they're going to find here, you will see there is a link to an exhibit on Reconstruction from the Library of Congress. Uh, Here's a newspaper article written by a prominent historian on the topic of Reconstruction. Um, and then here you have two primary sources, both of them by just happening by the same person, but actual articles written by Frederick Douglass in the late 19th century discussing issues related to freedom in America. So again, I hope that these different kinds of materials will provide different perspectives and give them a little bit more insight about the topics that we're covering in the course. Lastly, if we scroll down to the bottom of this first module, you'll also see that there's an icebreaker assignment. And the icebreaker assignment does require students to use Flipgrid. So this is a way for students, especially in that first module, to kind of interact with each other. And though they're not in class in a physical setting together, they may get to at least see each other, get to hear each other, and kind of get a better sense of, the class and their classmates, and hopefully creating a little bit of a sense of community, because it's not just a name on a page or a name in a discussion board. You're actually getting to see each other, and they are required to respond to each other, so it gives them a chance to not only post but then also um, respond, so they have somewhat of a dialogue, actual dialogue between the two of them. So that is the first module, which you can see that this layout that is used is duplicated in the modules that follow, and that is to bring consistency to the layout and to the course, so that students are able to very easily enter a module, and after a while they will know what to expect. They know if I enter a module, I'm going to find a video at the very beginning that's kind of giving me the overview. I'm going to have a task list with the dates, and I'm going to find um, the video collection, followed by the image library, followed by American Voices, and then I'll have the assignment. And that kind of consistency lets them know. The other thing is, if this was a live course, what you would notice is that the due dates always fall on the same day of the week, one week after another, again, building consistency into the course so that they know in this course, my assignments are due on this date, and that allows them to hopefully kind of plan ahead, knowing that, okay, every Friday, my assignments for this course are due. The one last thing I would like to show is I'm going to go down to Module 7. And as you see the layout here, I did want to show that one thing I added, I started to I wanted to include additional options for students beyond just writing assignments. And so in addition to Flipgrid, I also integrated a couple of VidGrid assignments where students could record, and I also gave them options so that they could choose which assessment they wanted to use in a module. So in this module, for instance, they have the option of recording an analysis of a Cold War image, and I give them places to go to locate the image. Then I give them, and they have a rubric that they use to determine, what are the expectations for the video. I give them the questions they should answer in the video and the general information. Now, if someone says I would prefer not to do to do that, they also have a quiz they can take, which is a short answer quiz where I provide the documents and then they go in, and then based on their answers, they're able to, I'm sorry, based on the documents, they're able to analyze the documents, and I can assess, their knowledge that way. So including those options, I think, allows students a little more flexibility. And this is done in this module as well in another module, so that over the course of the entire semester, they will have the option now to use video in 4 different assignments in 4 different ways, if they so choose, in the course. So that's really the last part. I will show you key terms. I did add this. This is an overview for students who are at the midterm or getting ready to take test 2. And I'll tell them, the midterm covers chapters X through Y. They can come here very quickly and go, okay, let me go and just all in one place, go through and see the key ideas that I should go back and review in the modules. These are the same key terms that appear in the modules, but now they're all grouped in one place for easier access and for students to more quickly review them. And then with the collaboration, as you can see here, this is you can see this is the, well, there should be if it shows up. This is the Flipgrid assignment for getting to know you, the icebreaker, and then the other Flipgrid assignment that I referenced with the World War I posters. So that's my course overview. If you hope you enjoyed the tour.